Time trials, circuit races, checkpoint races. If you played The Simpsons Hit and Run, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Street races. The street races were a perfect way to keep us engaged with the game besides the main storyline missions, and had a great payoff with brand new vehicles to use once we completed all 3 races in each level. Each level consisted of 3 types of races that were hosted by Milhouse, Nelson, and Ralph. While some of these races were easy to get past and didn't require too much effort, I have 10 street races in mind that I had to repeat on numerous occasions because they were so unfair and enraging for me to win because the game didn't want me to win.
No, it's because you suck.
Shut up. Well, maybe I do, but how about I just tell you guys about them and you guys can decide for yourselves. Here's my top 10 hardest Simpsons Hit and Run street races. Some restrictions of the top 10 to note. I will be ranking them based on the available cars we have at the time from those levels, and I will be excluding the use of vehicles earned after the street races. So I don't want anyone saying,
well, you could use the open wheel race car and won every race.
no, it's not going to work like that. Everything else such as purchasable and bonus mission cars will be fair game. So you know what? Let's get right to it.
6, 12, 1, go!
Number 10. Level 5 Checkpoint Race. The checkpoint races usually consist of one long lap around the long portion of the map, and in this particular one, you, the player playing as Apu, had to defeat Bart in his Ferrini car. Bart is a tough racer in this mission because he has a very fast car, and his drifting ability is one that you have to stay up leveled with because otherwise he will leave you tailgating him till the very end of the race. While it can be difficult to beat him because he only does have a 4-star top speed vehicle, there are some decent options of cars at your disposal to use. The car built for Homer is actually a very good option to use. There is also a number of shortcuts that you can use to your advantage to get ahead as well. But staying ahead early in the contest and not crashing is key to winning this race. While not so difficult, it is challenging in terms of how well you know the map and how well you can keep up.
You look pretty good out there. Is there a Mrs. Nahasapasapata whatever?
Oh, thank the gods there is. Thank you. Come again.
6, 12, 1, go!
Level 4 Checkpoint Race. Another checkpoint race for Marge's level 4 involves having to defeat Professor Frink in his hover car, although Frink isn't really relevant in this level, which is kinda strange. However, he does put up a great race because he does have a fairly fast hover car and can leave you in the dust with ease, especially considering Marge doesn't have any faster cars in her level to use against him. While there are some decent cars you can use, it won't match Professor Frink's futuristic machine that comes at a 4-star speed. If you try your luck and try to take him head on, you will have a difficult time and you will probably end up yelling at your screen. Your best hope at winning this race is using all the available shortcuts that are around the map and not crashing your car like my dumbass. If you crash once and hold yourself back, it is almost a guarantee he will surpass you and leave you behind. Another thing about the shortcuts is how they are also risky because they can lead you to some walls, buildings, or invisible barriers. Once again, it will slow you down. Once you get the hang of the shortcuts and avoiding any collisions, the race becomes easily beatable and no longer a reason for your daily anger.
You lost, and don't blame it on Homer.
3, 2, floor it, loser!
Number 8. Level 5 Circuit Race. I don't know about you guys, but I have some pretty crappy memories with this race. Circuit races involve running a certain number of laps around the limited racetrack in the map, and you just had to win first place. We are back with Apu in level 5 in this race. We are up against Bart once again, along with 2 generic cars that you see in the streets. One thing that I'm pretty damn sure about is that these generic cars are purposely put there just to hold you back while the real competition tries to take the lead. Yes, the programs were damn right trolling you. In this race, you are put up against a car with a better top speed than the cars you have, and the 2 idiots that don't know how to drive or stay out of your way. Trying to take Bart head on was already difficult enough, but those other 2 races are guaranteed to crash into you a couple times just to make things worse. And don't even get me started on those dreaded walls inside the tunnel. That is where you are most in danger. Not only that, but the race is pretty lengthy with a pretty long track, so you better avoid damaging your vehicle because there are no wrenches to be seen anywhere, and destroying your vehicle only means another way to lose the entire race. Using the best cars available in this level and don't crash is the best advice I can give you.
You did better than the American drivers.
I am American.
3, 2, 1, blow!
Number 7. Level 6 Circuit Race. Remember how much I praised Bart and I gave him props for having that fast Ferrini car? Well, I've changed my mind after racing Homer in this damn circuit race. Homer's sports car is one of the fastest cars in the entire game, and we are given the task of trying to stay ahead of him in this 5-lap race where most likely you will be behind him or neck and neck. You must be a great driver in this game because Homer has great drifting ability and that is what you need most in this race, along with not crashing into walls or that damn pole that is near the loop. And with Homer's sports car being one of the fastest, he can easily push you aside and set you in the opposite direction of where you are trying to go just to piss you off. You have to stay at 100% the entire time because he can easily catch up at any point and leave you behind for you to grieve. While I don't show it here in this clip, one of the best options you can use is Snake's bandit car that you can acquire in the bonus mission for this level. Trust me, you're gonna need his help. But this contest against Homer will be one of the toughest ones that you come across in this game. And you better be careful because as you will see, he will make you cry.
Give it time. And the crowd goes wild. 3, 2, 1. I did it! I topped it!
Well, since we're on the subject of Homer making us cry, number 6, level 6 checkpoint race. In this checkpoint competition, we basically race Homer to Krusty Lou Studios, and once again, it is a matter of staying 100% focused and avoiding all collisions possible. As you guys see in this footage, you guys see how this time I'm using Snake's bandit car, but even with that, I struggled to get past him because he's on my tail the whole time to the point I had to use a shortcut, and even with that, I almost failed because he's so damn fast. Having to deal with Homer's car in general is just a chore in itself because he'll most likely try to bully you on the way there and just try to give you a hard time. Taking him head on, I've had to repeat this race quite a number of times. I can't really remember, but after a while it does become beatable as you do use your surroundings and just hope that Homer can crash.
Good time there. Must have been all that fling from the wall you've done.
5, 5, 5, 4.
Number 5, level 2 checkpoint race. God, how much I hate Lisa. This level 2 race involves Mr. Lisa racing his sister in one long lap to the finish line along with 2 generic cars. Somehow the generic cars are not the worst thing about this one. Lisa's car by default is much faster than Bart's honor roller with a whopping 2.5 star speed compared to Bart's 1.5. Trying to take her head on is difficult enough already, along with the fact that there are no shortcuts available to use, with the exception of one little small one. No matter what you try to do, she will end up passing you, leaving you to tailgate her for majority of the race, and just realizing how slow Bart's car really is can be really irritating because you feel like the car is about to pick up speed, but it just never does. The best way to win is just to take the lead early on and avoid colliding with anyone in that damn tunnel that I mentioned earlier. What sucks even more is that Bart's honor roller is probably the fastest car at your disposal in this level, and you really have no other option, so you really have to try your best on this one.
It's not terrible.
Perfection, thy name is Bart.
Number 4, level 7 circuit race. In the Zombie World race, you are meant to take on 2 generic cars and the hearse that you are able to purchase in the same level. By this level, there are many cars that are available to use that are much faster than the ones you have to race, but a whole new factor comes into play. Crashes. Crashes everywhere, man. One of the most annoying things about this race is the number of times you are likely to crash into your opponents because the track is so narrow and there are so many sharp turns to be taken. I can guarantee you that you will crash into your opponents a couple times each lap. While the hearse is meant to be your competition, the other 2 generic cars show that they have some racing ability as well. So you have to be very careful not to crash into these guys because they might all leave you behind. And of course there's the factor of destroying your vehicle with so many collisions occurring in this race. One of the best ways to avoid collisions could be using the hover bike. It is a whopping 5-star speed and is small enough to get you through narrow areas, but it is pretty fragile. Every car you will use will fall for one of these factors in one way or another. While it is one of the most fun races in this whole game, it can be one of the most difficult, which makes pretty much a lot of sense because it is in the last level.
2, 4, 6, 8, you suck, I'm great, da 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 da, you are the one I hate. As soon as I'm done scratching myself, your history.
3, 2, loser says what?
What?
Ha ha! 1, go!
Number 3, level 3 circuit race. Another reason I hate Lisa, her street races. This circuit race in level 3 is against Marge and 2 generic cars. Now let me tell you what pisses me off. Lisa's Malibu Stacy car has a 2.5 star speed with 3-star acceleration, right? Marge's has a 2.5 star speed as well with 1.5 acceleration. You guys are seeing this, right? So why in all of freaking hell is Marge's Canyonero able to leave me in the dust in the race? Like how does that make any sense? She drives like she enabled the acceleration cheat and moves her way through the track like nothing. But not only that, but the generic cars being slow actually plays a factor into this as well, believe it or not. If you outlap any of the cars, there is a good chance that you will see them at an intersection and they will crash right into you and push you away from your destination, away from first place, or even further down. You can be neck and neck in the final lap, and you can taste sweet victory at the finish line like ice cream, and one of these annoying generics can take that sweetness away and turn it into salt. Near the finish line by the stairs, your opponents can push you down and to the spot of doom where it will force you to waste time by backing up and getting back on track. The crashing and Marge's definite cheating plays into how hard this race can be and how angry you're probably going to get when playing this mission. I guarantee you will hate Marge after this race. Number 2, Level 6 Time Trial. Now this is the only time trial race you're gonna see in this entire list, mostly because most of them are pretty easy. They're not really difficult at all. You don't really got to do much at all. But this one from Bart's Level 6, however, is one of the most irritating, one of the most annoying, one of the most difficult, one of the most let me tell you what got my freaking blood boiled from this one. So the time trial is pretty simple. You just gotta run around the track certain amount of laps, no opponents at all, you're just timed, and that's about it. Seems pretty simple, but in this specific race, the timing that they give you is not really convenient enough for you to get through it without any issues at all. And I like it because it's challenging, but I also hate it because it makes me so angry. What happens is you only have 2 laps to complete, and they are pretty lengthy, so you got to be careful not to crash your car too much. But there is a wrench available if you need it, so you don't really got to worry about destroying your car. But the timing really does come into play because it is a very long track, and you have to be careful not to waste time. You're gonna feel comfortable, but once you start seeing that the timer is at 10 seconds, then you're like, oh shit, and then you just failed the mission. Yeah, it happens just like that. I don't think there's going to be one time where you complete this mission without only having under 5 seconds to complete it left, because it is just that long and the timing is just that inconvenient for you. Your timing has to be spot on, and you cannot crash, because any crash, any minor setback, you're going to get left behind in this race and you're going to run out of time. It's one of the most aggravating races there, and it took me a while to complete them the first time, but once you get the driving down, once you use a decent car, you're going to be fine, you're going to be okay, you're not going to die, and you're going to be happy. Yes, that is it. That's number 2.
Good enough for me. Oh yeah, I totally rule.
The number 1 spot in a hardest missions list. This should be fun.
1, 1, go!
Level 3 checkpoint race. Yes, Marge is back along with those 2 generic idiots, and this time we are going for a full-length race. The same factors from the circuit race come into play for this checkpoint one. Marge being the faster car once again, which makes no sense, and the generic cars colliding with you. It also doesn't help that you begin the race behind everyone else. Like, seriously, dude? From the very beginning, there is a sharp turn leading to the ship where the 2 generics will crash into you and already delay your progress. With Marge having her cheat codes activated, it doesn't help the situation at all. In this race, you have to get used to the fact that you will be tailgating Marge for a majority of the race and hope she messes up at some point. Even when you are ahead, you cannot let your guard down because she will accelerate past you with ease at that final moment where the checkered flag is at the finish. This one I've had to repeat many times and raged at because I was tired of the BS stats they gave Marge's Canyonero. The races go by very fast and you have to play with smarts considering there is no other car you can use besides your default in order to compete. Be ready to call Vivendi Games and complain about a game that was developed 15 years ago because that is what you're going to consider doing if you try this race today. Level 3 checkpoint race. I wish you good luck on this one.
Yeah, I got my mojo working now.
So that was just another top 10 video that some of you guys have requested. I seen it was one of the more liked comments on one of my other videos, and I decided, alright, let's do this. Let's talk about the shit that made me mad. While the races were challenging, they actually are a lot of fun to play. So if you guys are able to play this, I encourage you guys to do that. And I also encourage you guys to look at my other Simpsons top 10 videos, my Simpsons content. I got plenty more to come along the way. And yeah, we'll be looking forward to doing more of that in the future. But hopefully you guys will have a great day, and I will see you in the next one.